He is none other than the principal of St. Francis Institution, my principal as well. Mr. Lee Bun Chuan became a GPK1, Senior Assistant 1, in our school on the 1st of June 2003. And he was in SFI until 2008, the 31st of July, when he left SFI to accept his promotion to be principal in a school which is non-Lasallian but a mission school as well, the ACS of Malacca. However, on the 1st of July 2011 until now, Mr. Lee Bun Chuan came back as a Lasallian to be our principal. So, Mr. Lee Bun Chuan.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Brother Michael. Very good morning to the Lasallian community. Very interesting talk given by Brother Yama about branding of the schools. And that is a very important and crucial issue that we have to think about. How do we brand our school? Now, my introduction is to this. First, I want to thank the organizing committee. Actually, they wrote me in when I was talking about this Lasallian education. I just want to share with all of you my experience as a senior assistant and also as a principal of a mission school and more so a Lasallian school. Now, in my quiet moments of reflection, sometimes I was thinking that who is foolish enough to want to be a school head? More so a school head of a mission school or a Lasallian school. Are we foolish people? Perhaps we are not foolish people, but we think that by the grace of God that we can do something significant and make a difference in our school. So this morning, I want to share with you that is it worthwhile to keep on mission school? I always talk to Brother Ambrose Lowe, the Education Director of the Lasallian Mission, that mission schools are worth keeping because we have a rich sense of history and tradition, and we cannot just give them up just because we are facing obstacles, and there are a lot of obstacles and challenges that we face today. So, as a school head, I just want to highlight four challenges. First of all, what is the public perception of our schools, and what are things they say about our schools? What is a Lasallian school? Now, in the eyes of the public, alright, a good school is a school where the students excel academically. So the more A's they have, the better the school. And do we believe the public? No. Because in our education system, how do we rank schools? What are the schools that are called schools of masters kecematangan or sekolah berprestasi tinggi? The instruments that are used by the ministry is basically academic excellence. How many A's the students have, or how many A's the school has, that's been used to rank schools. But if we go back to the education philosophy, and this morning our brother touched to us about the education philosophy. Now, there are a few indicative words that our philosophy is actually very good. Alright? First of all, these words are developing the potential, holistic and integrated, emotionally and physically balanced, full belief in God and devotion to God. Nowhere was that mentioned in our education philosophy is the number of A's. Nowhere. Alright? And this country philosophy of education is very much in line with our Lasallian philosophy of education, treating man as God-created creature, deserving dignity, respect and love. Each man deserves respect, dignity and love. Now, the Lasallian education is about the self-worth of a person or the personhood of an individual with human dignity. Now, we need to place special emphasis on character of the students, infusion of core values in our children. In St. Francis, we have a brother director by the name of Brother Harold. He was an ex-director. The ex-boys love him very much, Brother Harold. And from the narratives, I was told that he was a very strict brother, yet he earned the love and respect of the students. And we're always reminded by the famous quote he gave to his teachers, aptly put as this: teaching minds, touching hearts, changing lives. This is actually Lasallian education. Now, in my opinion, one of the challenges is how do we remain true to this essence of Lasallian education. And there are many competing interests in our schools, and we must remain firm and true to the wholesome education our students in our charge. We need to provide them a holistic education catering to every aspect of the personhood: the physical, the intellectual, the emotional, and the spiritual aspect of their lives. Should we pursue academic excellence? By all means. But it must be never at the expense of the other aspect of the individual. I like the word of Brother Harold: teaching minds, touching hearts, changing lives. The challenge, I believe, is now how do we do it in our Lasallian schools, in particular, and mission schools in general. Am I interested in SPT status for SFI? I am, but not at the expense of the other aspects of education to our students. In fact, in SFI, we invested more effort and energy for our 3L, our last, our loss, and our learning. I was indeed touched when an old boy came to my school and mentioned this to me. He says he was very happy to see our students respecting their teachers and addressing visitors to the school. He was indeed proud of this character in the school, which he finds lacking in many schools. Parents and the public sometimes inform us that they are able to distinguish SFI boys from boys from other schools outside the school. So as a principal, I think the second challenge we face today is to rediscover and reintroduce the Lasallian ethos and the traditions of our school. What is ethos? It is nothing more than the spirit that motivates the ideas, customs, and practices. Ethos can simply mean the fundamental values peculiar to the school. Over the years, there's a succession of school heads, and hopefully all school heads will understand the Lasallian ethos and try to strengthen and integrate the ethos into the operation of the school. Perhaps in some schools the ethos is fading, and the challenge is to rediscover and to reinforce in our school system. The most difficult question is, how do we reinforce? How do we integrate this set of values and beliefs in our schools? And most often than not, in our schools, we rely on old teachers and teachers who have passion for things Lasallian. This group of long-serving teachers are retiring. As a matter of fact, many have retired. And secondly, we are facing with a group of new generation of teachers who have a sense of fleeting or sense of loyalty to the school. Many are rather disinterested. Our challenge this morning is to how to ignite their interest. In many of our schools, we celebrate Founders' Days, and this may be the only thing that ties the school with Lasallian ethos and tradition. This morning, I want to suggest a few things that we can do to reinforce, to integrate ethos in the lives of the teachers and the students. I think I'll prefer the rostrum. Okay, yeah. So, now 3 levels of the school need to be reinforced. Firstly, it will be the administrators, the teachers and the non-teaching staff and the students. Now, I want to commend LASA Center for continuing the good work in their formation programs they have for the students. Now, this program must continue to reach out to the students, and I see wonderful things taking shape in the lives of the students. Alright, how do we reinforce? So one of the things that we can reinforce is through this formation program that we have. Alright, and I want to urge this morning to Lhasa Center to continue this formation program, especially for our students. And secondly, the most important group of people that we need exposure of this Lasallian ethos are actually the administrators, and they must be made to understand essentially what Lasallian ethos are, and each one of them must be infused with this spirit through our daily interaction with one another. The core values of the school must be explained in light of Lasallian ethos. Secondly, every new teacher that comes to my school, they are made aware of the school tradition and ethos. So I will normally spend some time with the new teacher going through with them the core values of the school, and I will explain our action in light of the values that we hold in. Our teaching staff and non-teaching staff must be made to be accurately aware of the school values and ethos, and this must continually be propagated. Lastly, I believe there are important roles that school icons and history play in infusing Lasallian spirit in our school. These icons, like the statue of St. John the Baptist, the portrait of founding brothers, and many others must be continually be a source of preference in the school. There are great stories to tell through this icon. The first history lesson in SFI for the Form 1 students will be studying the history of the school. And truly I believe that if we can, each school should have a heritage walk telling the stories of the school from the beginning of the founding days until present today. In SFI, we normally invite old boys to come to officiate important events of the school. Our school days, our sports day, installation prefects, and all these things serve as a role model for our younger generation. Last and not least, we have wonderful stories to tell about dedication of old boys to the school, to tell to our present day generation of students. I call these stories as legends of the school, and it must be told and retold to our school. And I believe in many ways, by doing so, it will infuse these values to the school. Now I just want to share with you two stories which I have experienced quite some time ago when I was in ACS, Malacca. One old boy came up to me. I was in the Padang. He says, "You're Mr. Lee, the principal of the school. I want to give 100,000 to the school." Now this old boy has done very well in the school, outside. Now the story is this: why do he want to do this? Simply because when he was a student, he was from a very poor family, and there's one teacher who take care of him, give him a bicycle to use, and for that he remembered the school. 100,000 to be given to the school. And I will tell the stories to many of my teachers, just to remind them that little things that we do by infusing certain core values that we have will bring a sense of thankfulness, and also that the old boys will return. I have another story of one of my students who have received from the Poor Boys Fund aid that we normally give to the students in a very quiet way, because we believe that dignity of man. This boy, after Form 5, very poor family, went out to work for 3 months, came back. He gave $150 ringgit to the mission fund teacher, the Poor Boys Fund teacher. Said they saying to the teacher, I want to give this back to the school to help the poor boys. We must not only tell the stories about the brothers, but we must also tell stories about ordinary boys and girls who have come back and contributed to the school because of their love for the alma mater. These stories will resonate with the present generation. Our vision schools have long history. The buildings are old and in need of regular maintenance. This is one of the greatest challenges faced by us as school heads. Mission schools are just like no discharge, like Madam Young just said that. Unlike conforming schools, they are normally have strong public support in their school building programs, and many do obtain generous donation from the public to improve the facilities for their students and for the upkeep of the school. Their school board plays such a crucial role in fundraising and improving facilities of the school. But many in the public have this mistaken idea that mission schools are fully aided by the government and therefore do not need the help of the public. So my dear Lasallian community, we are in the catch-22 situation. We need funds for tables and chairs. We need funds for major repairs. Our buildings are 50 to 100 years old. We need computers for our students. We need tables and chairs for our teachers, and etc. Our teachers work in very crowded conditions as compared to fully governed aided schools. And mind you, I look with envy when I was told that a neighboring school, government school, will be given a 4 million block building, fully equipped staff room with air conditioning, whereas our teachers have to share tables and chairs. I salute to every one of the teachers. Despite this condition, they continue to give their best to their students. As school heads, we strive to provide the best for our teachers and students. Though they deserve the same type of facilities just like any other fully government aided schools. The question we ask at the back of our mind is this: are students and our teachers shortchanged in terms of facilities and opportunities for them? The answer is most definitely yes. Our teachers, our students are shortchanged. What then are the solutions? We have never failed to continue to ask for allocation. We have never failed to beg for funds to upgrade and to upgrade the school buildings and facilities. We have to seek funds to replace our school computers and others which are not forthcoming from the authorities. We have to source our own very tables and chairs for our students. And sometimes what other schools reject as pelupusat, we repair, we recycle with gratitude and thankfulness to them. These are among our challenges. Some of our schools are blessed with wonderful PIBGs, PTAs, who are proactive in helping our schools to source and provide all these things that are needed by the school. This morning I want to urge all the Lasallian community to rise up to the occasion, to help to equip our schools in order our schools do not lose out to the fully government aided schools. I have not gone into the question of payment of utilities. It is another story to tell altogether. In the eyes of the authorities, what I've just mentioned are the responsibilities of the school boards. I'm truly thankful for the various packages given by authorities to help mission schools, and most recently, mission schools were given a substantial amount of money needed to repair, and it was named as Package Rancangan Economy 1 and 2. Now with these aids, there are many things that we can do to upgrade our schools. I want to emphasize here, occasionally, the authorities do provide us with funds for major repairs. And recently in SFI, we got a quite substantial amount of money to repair our roof from the government. Now the fourth challenge is managing our Lasallian community. In this context, the Lasallian community involves the PTA, the board, the Old Boys, and the Lasallian mission. Blessed are the schools which have strong Lasallian community to come alongside to help the schools. In the case of SFI, we are indeed blessed because we have a strong PTA. We are a strong Old Boy association who have never failed to come alongside the school to help us through our various projects. I want to emphasize this morning by urging the school board to play their rightful role in the school. The responsibility placed on the school board is indeed awesome. They are supposed to be the keepers of ethos of the school through smart partnership with the administrators. The school board must feel a sense of ownership of their school and be constantly interested in the school affairs. It is sad to know that in some of schools there are no school boards. If there are school boards, their roles are rather limited. As a school head, I would be very appreciative of school boards that are able to work in partnership with the school. This includes the upkeep of school buildings. Secondly, I want to suggest to the chairman of the school board to take the initiative to meet new school heads to our school, build relationships with one another. Secondly, I also want to suggest to the school boards to build relationship with the education department by having courtesy call. Let us build bridges and partnership with the authorities. What about the old boys and the old boys association? What do we do when old boys come to our school? Managing old boys takes effort, and it must be part of the culture of the school. In SFI, I'm thankful for a group of teachers who will make every effort to make every one of them feel welcome. We make our old boys feel welcome. It doesn't matter when they have left school or how successful they are in life. They are welcome in our schools. Their success and their joy are also our success and joy. No one will be felt left out when they return to SFI. The school makes an effort to engage them. We have a very strong old boy association, and as a school head, I make a point to communicate with them about the school and the needs of the school. SFA, our old boy association, has been a great help to our schools, and we have joint activities. Our PTA has always been very supportive of the school program. We engage the PTA to provide facilities and funding for the school activities. We have a wonderful PTA who is headed by the old boy of the school. He's here today with us. I can never thank him enough for that. For the contribution he has made to the school in terms of his expertise and time. Lastly, I want to appeal to others in the Lasallian community to be an enabler, to help the school instead of putting conditions for the school. And recently we have the issue of quick rent payment. At the school head, I think this is rather unnecessary distraction for us. So my appeal to you as a Lasallian community to help us, to enable us to fulfill our role as a school head for Lasallian School. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. These questions essentially crossed all the three speakers, starting from the centralizations. The role of centralizations of the schools actually in large proportion has actually nationalized most of the, nationalized in the inverted comma, most of the Lasallian schools which follow the actual rulings of the MOE, as what you say, menurut perintah, saya yang menurut perintah. But unfortunately, in that sense, the allocation, the fund allocations and the resources are not nationalized according to proportion. So I would like to bring up this question: is that any written rules, ordinance or act, actually in the eyes of the law, that limiting this fund or resources allocations? So perhaps maybe Rowena or the administrators can give the light about this. Thank you.
Alright, let me answer this question. Two things here. In the school there are two types of allocation. One is development allocation, one is operating budget. Operating budget every school gets according to the ratio. So there's no problem. Now what happens now is this: computers, tables and chairs are under development budget. Development budget as fully government aided school, as a government aided school, we are not given development budget. We have to ask for it. You see? So most often than not, we are not given. For example, we are talking about access center. It's a question of a few computers. But because this is under development budget, we are not given. Tables and chairs, it's not under operating budget, but it's under what? Development budget. So this is the big issue now. Now how do we overcome this problem? So perhaps we as a Lasallian community should fight for this, that things that we need, computers, tables and chairs, will be put under operating budget rather than development budget. Alright? I think I answered your question. Okay, that was in 1986 Act, if I'm not mistaken. Before that, there's no problem. Education Act.
Good morning. Mr. Lee. I'm from Seremban. My name is Lucy and I'm the principal of SMK St. Paul. Just to add on to what Mr. Lee has said, okay, talking about allocation, I think, I don't know, our state department, funds coming as and wish they feel like giving. Okay, just to give you a simple situation. We talk about tables and chairs. We have been asking for tables and chairs. They have not given us. So we have bought a lot of tables and chairs. But suddenly because they suddenly became very concerned about the Form 6 and the new system, and they want to make sure that there are no complaints about the new STPM system. They sent us 50 new tables and chairs. So now we have a problem. We do not know where to store these extra 50 tables and chairs.
No, so
this is just to show you how imbalanced the situation is. But the point here is this. I think in terms of funds and all that, it's true as what Mr. Lee says. That we have to ask for funds, but at the same time, we also use the existing funds to help to manage the development that we have. Okay, but I want to raise one issue here, which I don't know whether the other schools are facing. At this point, I mean, all schools, we as Lasallian schools, we would like to have an identity, but we have a problem of we have no control over the kind of students we are given, okay, and we have no control over the kind of teachers we get. So trying to maintain that identity is becoming a big challenge for us. At least in my school, I see a very change in the demographic population of my teachers. We used to be a very good mix, a racial mix. Now it's slowly becoming very lopsided, and it's becoming more and more difficult for us, those of us who would like to maintain this identity, this Lasallian identity at ASOS. It's slowly becoming a challenge for us because certain quarters feel very threatened by our emphasis on this Lasallian identity. Okay, so when you talk about going private, when you talk about trying to maintain this Lasallian identity, this is becoming a reality. It's becoming a reality, and more and more challenging for heads like us. And we do not know how long more we can hold on to this identity. This is my concern. Okay?
Thank you, Lucy. I am not that pessimistic. I'm not that pessimistic. Simply because I think Lasallian education is universal. It is in line with our philosophy of education. The challenge for me as a schooler is how do I infuse it to all levels of the school, starting from the students, to the teachers, to my support staff, and to my administrators. And that's my challenge. And I think that's the crux of the question. How do I do it? So we must be a person who is able to tell them, to be passionate about things Lasallian. If we can do that, and most often than not, when certain actions that we do, we must always explain it in terms of Lasallian values and ethos. And by doing so, I think this way of inculcating and propagating, it will go down to the lower level. And mind you, I got a very new teachers, which I believe many of them are quite Lasallian. And I'm not that pessimistic. But the greatest challenge now is to find administrators. When we leave the seat, who will be willing to take that challenge? And let me tell you, with the promotional opportunities given to teachers nowadays, who in the right of mind who want to be a school head, also mission school head? I would want to be an honorary teacher, which I can go up to teaching 54, by the way, alright, with a new scheme. So why would I want to think about the things that I have to get up early in the morning to think about it before I go to school, and all these things. And these are very challenging times actually, with the new what they call schemes that we are having. So that's the challenge. Unless and until we believe by the grace of God that we can do something for our school, then only you want to take up the challenge, or else you wouldn't want to.